Hey folks, on this next episode of Legends of the Outdoors, we're going to kind of throw it back a little bit from a couple of years ago when we fished with Kent Driscoll on Lake Arkabutler down in Mississippi. Abby Jo joins us, and we want to dedicate this show to Abby Jo and her husband Adam on the birth of their new twin grandbabies. I know those two youngins are going to get to spend time in the woods and on the water, and I can't wait to share time with them when they get big enough. So let's head out to the Lake Arkabutler with Legends of the Outdoors. Kent Driscoll, Abby Jo, and I catch big monster slab crappie. And hey, there's a few surprises in this video too, so stick around. I know you're going to enjoy this one.
5 a.m. can't come soon enough for folks like these. There's more than just a job to do, so they hit their knees. They sure take pride in everything they do. There's no challenge that they won't work through. So they tirelessly keep going on. They work their fingers to the bone. They spend way too much time in the field and away from home. You can be sure they know what all this hard work is for. So now we honor you. Legends of the outdoors.
Hey Abby, this morning we're going to meet Kent Driscoll, a real good friend of mine. Kent's the B&M Poles Pro Staff Manager,
wow.
So we haven't got to fish together a lot, but I'm excited about getting to go to him.
I'm excited to meet him.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So here he comes now. Hey, good morning, Kent.
Hey, good morning.
Man, good to see you.
Good to see you,
This is
Gary.
Abby Jo, Kent
Hi, Abby
Driscoll.
Jo. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I am fantastic. Been looking forward to this morning.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a great day. I tell you what, we got cloud cover. Fish are going to bite. I'm excited about going with it. It's been a long time since we've been in the boat together.
I tell you what, it has. We've been planning this, and you know, we're blessed with a really pretty day. So, and the fish are biting. So let's just go out there and enjoy ourselves and rehash a couple of old memories and have some fun today.
Absolutely.
So,
Good deal.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Abby Jo and I set out on the gorgeous Lake Arkabutler with Kent Driscoll to see what we could catch. Arkabutler is one of the best lakes for crappie fishing, and sure enough, we were able to reel in quite a few beautiful crappie while we were out. Hey folks, welcome back to the Legends of the Outdoors TV. I'm here this morning with my good friend Kent Driscoll. Kent is the B&M Poles Pro Staff Manager and also a great tournament fisherman. Kent, man, thanks for taking us this morning. We got Abby Jo up in the front of the boat, and she's already caught a fish on her pole, and we've just gotten started. So what a great morning. We're fishing here on Arkabutler Lake in northern Mississippi. Kent drove all the way down from Nashville and met us this morning, and here we are.
It's great to have y'all here this morning. Abby Jo, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
having
glad
us.
you could make it and join us this morning. And I tell you what, we've got a perfect day, good conditions, got a little bit of wind, but it's overcast. And this overcast is a good thing, okay?
Right.
And you know, a little bit of wind does not hurt us. It actually helps us a little bit. We're long line trolling today. We've got some jigs in the back. And I've got jigs and a crankbait up front with Abby Jo. So we're gonna try a couple of different techniques this morning. We're gonna let the fish tell us how fast they want us to go, what color they'd like, and what depth to fish. So we just got our poles out. We caught one just a second ago before the camera got turned on, but that happens quite a bit. And but that's okay. We're just gonna start fishing here and hopefully load the boat down with some big old Mississippi crappie.
Looks like Abby Jo may have
Abby.
a fish.
Got a little one.
All right.
Yeah, flip him in the boat. Yeah, you got it.
Now, Abby Jo traditionally has been known to catch the smallest fish and the biggest fish and the most fish. So we're gonna see how she does today.
This portion of Legends of the Outdoors is brought to you by Woodhaven Custom Calls, America's best turkey and deer calls. Game Hide, one brand, every season. Woody's, national award-winning barbecue, dry rub, and seasoning. So get to grilling with Woody's.
Hey Kent, listen, I know that you've fished a lot of different lakes, a lot of different places in your career as a tournament fisherman. What's your favorite lake to crappie fish on?
Yeah, it's funny you ask that because you're sitting on it today with me.
I thought that would be the answer. You know,
I caught my biggest crappie on this lake right here.
Right.
I'll tell you what, this is a special place. It's kind of a funny lake. It's inconsistent, all right, but it is full of big crappie. I guess 3 years ago, I caught one that weighed 3 pounds 9 ounces in this lake, and I've caught several over 3 pounds, but that is by far my biggest fish that I've ever caught.
Yeah.
And caught it in the springtime, was full of eggs, and cool thing about it was caught it, took a couple pictures and released it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've caught 2 3-pound crappie on Kentucky Lake in my lifetime that I weighed and released, and of course both of them was dripping with eggs.
Right.
In the summertime they would not have weighed 3 pounds, but put back in the lake so someone else could enjoy
right. Let
either
them spawn.
catching them or they could spawn. So. Hey Kent, you've took us over here to another position. They wasn't quite biting over where we was at, although you and Abby both caught one. You hadn't let me catch one yet. So I'm looking forward to that little tidbit. And I want you to explain why we moved and what this technique is that we're doing right now, crappie fishing, because there's so many different ways to crappie fish and none of them are wrong.
Right, right.
So
yeah, so we're pulling jigs today, and you can see we've got a pretty big setup. On the outside, we've got an 18-foot B&M Pro Staff rod, all right? And if you kind of do the math and add up, we're sweeping over 40 feet right here with our outside ones, right?
Yeah.
And then the next rod is 16 feet long, and then the inside rod closest to the motor is 12 feet. So you got about between 4 to 6 foot of line separation between all our baits. So we're covering a lot of water, and we're moving about 1 mile per hour. I've got some single jigs on the outside 2 poles, and then on the inside poles, we've got 2 double jigs. So the 2 doubles are fishing a little bit deeper because they're right behind the boat. Make sense?
Right.
So right now we're kind of still searching for these crappie. We're looking for them. We're covering some different depths, and I'm turning around, I'm looking at the depth finder just to check the depth every now and then, and also to see how deep the fish are. And so we're just gonna keep covering a lot of water today until we run into an active school of fish. Got another one, huh?
Yeah.
Attaboy.
It's a dandy.
Yeah, that's a keeper there. Swing him on in here.
Heavy fish right here.
That's a nice one there. Keep coming, keep coming. All right. How about that?
That is a good crappie.
That's an Arkabutla slab there.
Kent,
You know what I just did?
what did you just do?
Put a double jig on there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
Did you notice what jig you caught him on?
Yeah, I caught him on top one
Yeah. So
with the green and chartreuse trailer. And I tell you what, I can see hush puppies around that rascal
boy.
now. That's a good fish.
That's
Beautiful
a nice
fish.
one. Let's see what color jig you had on. Look at there.
Yeah.
So that's orange and black with the John Deere green trailer.
Yep.
How about that?
Yep, that's beautiful fish. We're gonna put him in the live well because he's gonna get to go to the house with us.
So he's gonna get to go to Crisco Lake.
Crisco Lake, boy, that's pretty fish. Coloration on that fish is just absolutely beautiful. The thickness of the fish. Oh, where's that?
Right behind
Okay,
you.
I got it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's the best footage
Oh.
ever. Look, 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 look. Hang on, let's let this bird see if he'll get him.
He tried to take that away from you, Kent.
Trying to get the slab.
That blue heron tried to take. Hey, wonder what he'd have done with him if he'd have caught him. Kind of like a dog chasing a car.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have known what to done if he'd got a hold of him.
Right.
That big old crappie.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
That is a nice one.
That blue heron saw that crappie on the surface, and he just went right down there to him.
He thought it was an injured crappie.
Yeah.
Because he was up on the surface, and
That's right.
he was going to get an easy lunch, wasn't he? That crappie's big enough he could have carried him home to the whole family.
Yeah, no doubt, no
Oh,
doubt.
that was wild.
Good deal.
We'll be right back after these messages.
This portion of Legends of the Outdoors is brought to you by Knox County Whitetails, where you come as a client and leave as a friend. CVA, it's just a better gun. RBX Transportation, be a name, not a number.
Back at the crappie compound, Abby Joe and I sat down with Kent, Jack Wells of B&M Poles, Les Smith, and Joel Harris to unwind by the campfire and tell a few stories.
You know, I think, you know, when you work with a lot of people and we've got a big staff. Right now we've got about 70 guys on the crappie side. You know, you gotta set a good example for everybody. And you gotta expect everybody to you know, carry the mail and represent you in a positive and a professional manner. And we've been very lucky, and we've done a great job, and we've really used the pro staff like, you know, Les and the Power Trolling pole, and, you know, the Caps and Coleman poles, and the Sam Heaton poles. And we've done all this research and development and developed all these poles based on feedback from the pro staff. And it's for fishermen by fishermen is what we've done. And it's really been good. And it's fun to get to share, like this weekend, these new techniques with you guys. You know, Abby Joe, young female angler. Yeah. I mean, what a trooper she is.
Right.
She has spent 3 days in different boats with, you know, different fishermen, and just hung in there the whole time.
It's been a lot of fun.
Right, and just, you know, asking questions, and, you know, how do you do this, and you know, why is this or why is that, and what's the difference? We talked about a black crappie and a white crappie today. Yeah. You know, telling her the difference between those two species of fish. And it was really cool to, you know, to see her passion and her energy. And I think that's what's really going to make you guys successful with the show.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, I hate to call you an old guy,
No,
Gary.
I am. I mean, you're right.
But,
you're right.
I mean, you've got a fresh, young face right here
Abby Joe
that can really connect with the younger generation.
I agree.
So much prettier than you, Tom.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
You know, Abby asked me a great question today. She said, for an inexperienced angler, what should I do to learn how to crappie fish?
Yeah.
And I, you know, and I said, and I smiled for a second, and I went back to, how did I get started?
Yeah.
Well, it was my grandmother.
Mine too.
All right. And I think all of us had someone that got us started crappie fishing.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then we made friends. We learned to fish with other crappie fishermen, and we learned different techniques, like we mentioned earlier. And, you know, some of us have been fortunate enough to get to go with crappie guides.
Yeah.
And, you know, you talk about great teachers.
Some of us have been fortunate enough to be crappie guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. No doubt.
I mean, what's better than making your living on the water?
Absolutely.
Carrying people
and a lot of
teaching.
our pro staff guys, you know, that's what they do.
That's exactly what they do.
But coming from someone new to the sport and a female, I just said, man, that's so cool, because here's a young lady that's coming up in the industry with a hunting background, and she's just as passionate about fishing as she is hunting. And she's asking us these questions, because you know, all of a sudden, hey, she kind of wet her beak crappie fishing these past 3 days.
Yeah.
Now you got me hooked.
I know, and she's hooked. So, you know.
And, you know, I hate to tell her this. Going crappie fishing is always this good, but catching them like this don't always happen, you know. So it's kind of like one of my sons, I carried out turkey hunting for the first time with his gun. And, I mean, 10 minutes into the hunt, he's done killed a great big longbeard, you know. He's like, okay, Dad, we'll do this again tomorrow. I'm thinking, yeah, sure we will. Not every 20 minutes.
Abby, let me ask you this. What did you think about that bird today?
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
So tell everybody what happened.
So you had cast it out to where you'd gotten a fish, and it was kind of on the edge of the surface, and all of a sudden this blue heron comes out of nowhere and just goes right over top of it and was hovering over like he was going to steal it. And then he looked at us in the boat and he almost stole that fish, but then he flew off.
In all my years of fishing, I've never seen any type of bird dive on a fish like that and try to get him. While he was caught.
You know, my wife's favorite bird is a heron.
You said that.
And she loves just to cruise along the bank at idle speed, and you know, the blue herons will come off the bank, and it's still to the day, it still excites her to get to see a blue heron. And so I told her about what happened, and she said, I can't wait to see that. What we get to see in nature each and every day, the sunrises that we get to see, the sunsets, I mean, for an outdoorsman, it's not about the catching and the killing. Everybody uses the word harvest, but it's catching and it's killing, but it's not about that.
This portion of Legends of the Outdoors is brought to you by Black Widow Innovations. Tough, accurate, deadly. Scott Archery, CBE, Ultra Arrows.
Kent, what are you putting on there?
I'm gonna run a double jig, and I'm putting a 16th ounce fin spin on your inside pole, which is going right directly behind the motor here. And that double jig, you can see it right here. There's 2 16ths right there. It's gonna run about 10 feet deep.
Now, I've noticed you're running a skirt on one of them, curly tail here.
Right.
And on the other one you're not. Is there a reason for that, or?
Well, I'm just kind of mixing it up right now. I'm trying to figure out exactly what the fish want.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've got different colors on, some different size baits, and we're fishing some different depths. And you know, right now the fish have been a little bit stingy. Jack was asking me to put this pro staff together, and so I started out by just contacting, you know, some like-minded fishermen that I knew from the tournament trail, and also some fishing guides. And our goal was to get a diverse group of fishermen in different geographies and different regions that could help us in these different areas. And so I split it about 70% tournament fishermen and about 30% fishing guides to start with.
Right.
And that's how we got started. That's how you and I met. At the time, you were doing a lot of guiding.
Yeah.
And
about
you
200 days a year.
Right.
Fishing.
And right. And I had several people that that I reached out to and personally, and then I had several people refer other people. But I started putting the formal pro staff together, and we started out with about 15 teams, and each year we grew. And as we kind of developed different markets and went into new markets, I would add a pro staff person in that market.
Yeah.
And then we really got into a lot of research and development. We would come up with these ideas for new rods, and we would actually take these prototype rods and send them to our pro staff folks and let them field test them. So one of our really big projects that we worked on as a pro staff was research and development for the new product. And what we would do is we would come up with internal ideas for a new pole or something along those lines, and we'd go get samples made and we'd send it out to the pro staff and actually have those guys go out and fish with it and truly field test it. And that's where we really started making a lot of really good new product that people wanted because our pro staff was using it. Nice and steady, keep coming, keep coming. All right, now just kind of back him up and keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. You got him. That's a 2-pounder there, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep.
That's what we're looking for.
Yep.
That's a hero fish right there.
Yeah, man. Bam!
Ba-da! Ba-dam! Whew. Man.
Whoa.
Kent, that, folks, is a crappie. A big one. Y'all got a new YouTube show that's coming out, or is already on YouTube. Tell me a little bit about that.
We started a YouTube series called Fish, Eat, Live. It features our B&M Pro Staff guys, and the host of the show is one of our pro staffers, Kirby Ham. Everybody knows him as DJ Kirby or Crappie Kirby. Kirby's the host of the show, and he travels around and he goes to all these different lakes and fishes with our different pro staff guys. Just spends time, good quality time in the boat. He gets to know their families. We do some recipes. He just gets to fish all different ways. We run an episode every Sunday at 6 o'clock. I think right now we've got about 26 shows up. You know, we'd just like everybody to go to our channel and check it out and subscribe to it and comment if you like it and tell us what you'd like to see, and you know, just give us a like while you're there.
Billy Bob Lovett Show. What do you think, Kent?
Damn, pretty fish, y'all. Such a pretty fish.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna let that baby go. Folks, that's our last fish for the day. Kent, thank you so much for having us. Abby, Joe, man, we've had a great time. We're gonna let this one go so somebody else can catch him here on Arkabutler Lake, and we'll see y'all next time. Well, you know, it don't get any better than that. Catching big monster crappie, no matter where you're at, what state you're in, they sure fry up really good and they're tasty, and we love catching them. So until next time, thank you, Kent Driscoll. Thank you, Abby Joe. We'll see you next time right here on Legends of the Outdoors. God bless and good fishing.
So now we honor you as legends of the outdoors.